He's the smallest prisoner in the world, and you'll never guess the terrible things he did. Ashley and her husband have 2 children. They live in a house in California. And one Wednesday, they decided to go out for pizza because the kids had a lunch break. They chose to go alone and left their 4-year-old son and his 15-month-old sister at home, thinking their son could take care of his sister. The trip would only take 30 minutes at most. Shortly after they left, the 4-year-old was playing in the kitchen with his sister when something horrible happened. He decided to put his sister in the oven and turned it on. When the parents came back, they entered the house and smelled the scent of burnt meat. But they weren't too worried because they had bought pizza. However, when they went to get a glass of water in the kitchen and saw what was happening there,
their 4-year-old son stood in front of the oven, his face full of shock and confusion. He tried to explain, but his words were slurred and he could only give bits and pieces. Ashley and her husband immediately realized that their son had inadvertently shut his sister in the oven and that he had turned on the oven's heat. Ashley rushed to the oven and quickly opened the door. The heat from the oven hit her, and she saw the tiny figure, her skin blackened by the heat, already dying. She hurriedly grabbed out her daughter and rushed to the car with her husband, driving as fast as she could to the hospital. Along the way, Ashley and her husband's hearts hung in their throats. They kept praying that their daughter would pull through. However, their world completely collapsed when the doctors told them that the child could not be saved due to the severity of her injuries. The incident left the Ashley family in deep grief.
This famous actress sold her dead son's crib. The next day, the buyer demanded a return. You won't believe what the buyer found. Julia Roberts and Daniel are a happy couple. They've been married for 20 years. They always wanted to have a child. One day, Julia finds out she's pregnant. They were very happy. Daniel loved her so much he wouldn't let her do anything. When the time comes to the 100th day of pregnancy, they went to the hospital for tests. After being examined by a doctor, everything is fine with the baby, very healthy. They quickly prepared a room for the baby, cribs, cute toys. The time soon came to the 9th month. Then something unfortunate happened. Julia Roberts wasn't feeling normal this day. She was desperate to find a doctor. Tests found that the baby had died in her womb. When I hear the news, she broke down. It hit her really hard. After the doctor's surgery, she recovered and returned it home. Every time I passed the nursery, she was very sad. After everything she's been through, she can't get over it. She made a decision. He decided to sell the crib and the toys. So she sold the crib for the low price of $100. Maybe it's the only way she can get over this traumatic experience. But the day after the crib was sold, the buyer asked to return it. You wouldn't believe the terrible things he found in the crib. Press the plus button and comment Julia for more details in part 2.
Farmer's sow gave birth to this human baby, but when doctors analyzed its DNA, they immediately called the police. On a small farm located in the heart of the forest, a mysterious pig appeared at the door of a local farmer. The farmer thought it was strange, but decided to welcome the pig into his home and raise it. However, it was very clear that this animal was not an ordinary pig. It made human-like noises, as if trying to communicate. Moreover, it refused to get dirty like a normal pig and only ate human food. The farmer was extremely confused, but then he noticed something. There was a significant swelling in the pig's belly, and that's when he knew it was pregnant. He had no idea how this was possible, as she had been separated from all the male pigs. However, the sow's belly kept growing. Every night, the farmer was awakened by identical human-like screams coming from the sow. One night, the sow fell completely silent, so he entered the barn. But you won't believe what he found inside. Follow me and comment so to find out what happened next in part 2.
When the woman checked her surveillance camera while on vacation, she caught her roommate in an act that shocked the entire world. Katrina had been living in a shared apartment with her cat Zebby and a friend from work for several years. The two were very close friends, and Katrina couldn't have asked for a better roommate. Even though her cat was getting older and sometimes caused household issues, her roommate always showed understanding. Even when Katrina went on vacation, she could always leave Zebby at home with her roommate without any worries, because she knew she would take good care of him. However, everything changed one day when she was planning to go on vacation with her mother. Upon arriving at the airport, Katrina noticed that she couldn't find her asthma inhaler, which she absolutely needed to travel. She then had the idea to check the surveillance camera in the apartment to see if she had left it on the table at home. But at that exact moment, she caught her roommate in an act that prompted her to immediately call the police and reported her roommate. Later, when they reviewed the surveillance footage in court, it turned out that this was not the only instance, and her roommate had always mistreated the cat while Katrina was away on vacation. However, the roommate got away with a fine, as pets are considered property damage and not punished as in the case of a human. Robotic diver finds sunken container. When they open it, their faces turn pale. Marine archaeologist Kira and her team were on an unexpected discovery during their deep-sea journey into the uncharted territories of the ocean floor. They were exploring a seemingly inconspicuous area when suddenly the hook of their robotic diver latched onto a corroded container, marking the beginning of a change. The container lay quietly on the seabed, its ordinary appearance marred by the traces of time. However, Kira's intuition strongly suggested that beneath its mundane exterior might lie a significant secret. Under her command, the team maneuvered the mechanical arm to slowly open the container. As the door of the container creaked open, the control room on the ship fell into a stunned silence. The team watched tensely through the grainy monitor screens, their heartbeats nearly stopping at that moment. The content displayed on the screens was beyond their imagination. Unbelievable. The members exchanged glances, their eyes filled with confusion and astonishment, unable to believe what they were seeing. For the continuation of the story, reply with "submerged container" in the comments section. He married his own mother for money, but what happened on the wedding day shocked the world. John, 30, is Pola's son. And what is this young man going to do to his mother? What he does to his mother will really make your blood run cold. Pola is an elderly woman who suffers from dementia since the death of her husband, Andre. John doesn't care much about his mother's illness. He's interested in her money. He knows that his mother has a large sum of money somewhere. He often asked her where this money was, but because of her illness, Pola could not answer him. One day, John went to visit his mother, but she did not recognize him. She was convinced that it was her husband. That's when an idea came to John: to ask his mother to marry him and to impersonate his father in order to find out where she had hidden the money. When he proposed to his mother, she rejoiced because of her illness and she was sure of seeing Andre. But John didn't anticipate what would happen on his wedding day. That day shocked the world. If you want to know the second part, press the plus sign and reply to Wedding 2.